How you guys doing? I want to talk about something that I'm feeling today that me and my brother had talked about yesterday. He kind of gave me the idea, sparked the thought, and it was something that I could absolutely relate to, and I wanted to speak about it. And that's the feeling of fear. That's at the top, but also the voice that it can play in our head, and the voice of being our own self critic, right? Because if you're anything like me, a million times a day. I mean, this can happen multiple times a day. But I'm going through my day and I'm going through into situations. I could be at work and my boss asked me to do something, or just a couple weeks ago I was going to orientation and I was going into a corporate setting where I don't go to a lot. It pops up. I could be talking to going and reaching out and talking to somebody and get the fear, get the uncomfortability. These voices come into my head. I could be at school. I could be anywhere. I could be doing anything really. It's not the point, but this voice comes into my head and says to me, Jim, you can't do that. You're gonna fail if you do that. You're not good enough to do that. You're gonna work hard and you're gonna try your hardest and it's not gonna be good enough. You're gonna fail. You can't. And when I hear that voice, I know that it can paralyze me and stop me dead where I'm standing. It can stop me right in my tracks if I don't have something that can combat it. If I don't have another voice in my head saying, no, Jim, you can, you will, you are able, you can do this. If I don't have tools to use, if I don't have something, if I don't have a connection with God and I don't look up to God, ask him for for a God shot, ask him for some direction and say, listen, just help me get through this. Guide me on your path. Help me to be an instrument of your love and peace. If I don't have something to be as a defense to that, I'm done. I will be so feared up that I won't go through with what I'm doing. And the crazy thing is that there have been times, there have been more than a few times where I've gotten the fear, I've prayed about it, I've asked for direction, I've maybe talked to somebody about it, I've gone through, I've done it, I've came out on the other side, and I'm like, thank you, Lord. Like, why was I so afraid? Why was I so afraid to do it? I'm doing it. I can do this. I can do this. And in that moment, I think like, well, you should just never be afraid of that stuff ever again. You'll be good. And it could be a week later, it could be 2 weeks later, I'll get the fear all over again. And it happens throughout the day. And so what I get from that when I think about that is that it's a constant thing. Just like so many other things in my recovery, this is constant. No matter how great I think I'm doing, or how low, or in the middle, or whatever I think I'm doing, however great I think I'm doing, or whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to get those feelings. I'm still going to have to rely solely on God, and I'm still going to have to bounce things off of other people when I get fearful, because that fear will stop me right where I'm at, and it'll prevent me from doing things I need to do, handling responsibilities I need to handle, from reaching out to somebody that needs help. People were there when I needed help. People were there. So I got to reach out. I have to. But if I stop at the uncomfortability, if I stop at the fear, how am I going to be able to do it? Now, I need that defense. When I was in active addiction, I had no defense. So some of the things I needed to handle, my responsibilities, the things that I got feared up about, I would stop there, and it prevented me from doing lots of things. And I'm so grateful that now that's not the case. I still get that voice in my head, that critic in my head that's telling me that I can't go through with it. I can't do it. I'm not good enough. I'm not. But I have a defense now, thanks to God and thanks to recovery and sobriety, that I can move past it. But I know that it's continuous, because once I move past it, it can still happen. It happens all the time. It happens to me all the time. And the fact that I'm aware of some of the tools, the fact that I'm aware of maybe some of my behaviors that are going on, that's a good thing. That's a big deal. But see, my addiction, it talks to me in my own voice. That voice, that fear, that critic, that's my own voice talking. And so if I don't bounce it off somebody else, even when I feel uncomfortable about it, even when I don't even want to talk to anybody about it, if I don't bounce it off somebody else, another guy in recovery or one of my friends or somebody. If I don't bounce it off somebody, I'm gonna lie to myself. I'm gonna justify it myself, and I'm gonna do it my own way. I'm gonna do it off self-will, and I already know that when I do things by myself, solely by myself, I mess it up every time. So I know that I have to confront a situation like that. And you know what? It sounds like a lot. You know what I mean? Sometimes it sounds like a lot to be able to do in a split second. You know, sometimes I even tell myself, I'm like, how am I supposed to what? Like, how am I supposed to use and do all these things? And I have to make a decision right there on the spot. It can only take a second. If you can have like a recited something that you tell yourself whenever you're getting fearful, like, you know, just something quick. A prayer quick, a recited one-liner real quick to kind of help you get through these things. And when you continue to do it, it continues to be more and more natural. So what I want to just, you know, leave you with today is when you hear that voice, when you hear that critic, when you get feared up, don't stop there. Don't stop there. Have something within you, have a defense to tell yourself, I can, I will, I am able. Have something as a defense. And if you need to, even if you don't feel like you want to, reach out to somebody else and ask for advice or ask for help, okay? Because a lot of times that's what we need. That's what I need to get outside myself, to get some direction. Because if I do something by myself the way I want to do it all the time, it's going to be the wrong thing. It's the wrong thing. I can be very indecisive, okay? So I need somebody sometimes to help me figure out which way to go on situations. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to talk about for a few minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed it, got something out of it. I'll talk to you soon.